Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Fuel My Ride. Today we'll be doing fiberglass work on my SW20. Okay guys, so the goal for today will be to try and remove all this primed up paint here, perhaps even the door. And what we're going to do is we're going to put fiberglass over here and smooth the blend with the body. I'm also going to remove this light here and I'm going to patch over this as well. So to patch over this section here, because it's not low like this, if you put a fiberglass patch over here, you're going to see it in your paintwork. So we're going to have to tap down this metal here as well when we put fiberglass over there. Now that we have the wheel off, we're going to remove the inside splash guard, because what we want to do is have access to the inside of this panel as well. So to remove that, we're going to have to come in here. I think there's going to be 10mm bolts all through here. There's likely to be other weird stuff like cable ties and stuff holding your bumper together. So it just depends on your car really. Working with dust, you always want to protect your lungs, so what you got to do is wear a dust mask. The P2 one is pretty good. You can get full respirator masks, but we're going to be using those on the actual respray. For now, just for comfort's sake, we'll be using one of these, and have ear protection if you're using a grinder as well. This one actually just broke, so no good to us. Get a fresh pack. Once you finish your grinding, what you want to do is go over this with 60 grit sandpaper and really get into all the corners and everything that you can. See there's still bits of paint or primer on here, and the fiberglass may not bond to this as well as it would normally bond to the metal here. You want to get it down as much as you can to bare metal, and this is where it's likely to fail. So we're going to take the fiberglass right up to this edge here probably, and the rest will be skimmed with bog. But we do not want that fiberglass to fail. We're going to give it the best chance to stick to this metal. Next, what we're going to do is come up on the inside of the guard here. And we're going to rough up that same surface because we're going to sandwich the fiberglass onto this metal. Anytime you're working with fiberglass, you really want to wear gloves, alright? Even if you're just handling this twill, if you're cutting it up, you still want to wear gloves because it's actually made out of little tiny glass fibers, hence fiberglass. And the glass fibers themselves will pierce and go into your skin. You'll be itchy for weeks. But seriously, wear gloves. Now what we want to do is cut the meshing to about the size of your holes. The first thing we're going to do is do strips along here. If they're a little bit bigger, that's okay, because the overlap here, anything left over that's too high, we're going to grind down flush with the bodywork anyway. So the next part I want to do is get out the peening hammer. What we're going to do here is lightly tap down the hole here. We want to cape it down maybe, let's say 2 or 3 mil. And this gives you enough room to actually layer up the fiberglass, which gives the panel strength, and then we can skim bog and prime over it and everything, and it will be flush with the body of the car. Yeah, as you can see here, we've hit this down. Now the only problem is, I've noticed that the metal seems to pop back out very easily when you pull on it. It wants to come back to its natural resting state, just your finger pulling on it. When you push down on it, it springs back. So I think we're gonna have to cut some little relief lines here, so it will bend out and it will hold that shape when we push it down. Now this is like in its resting state. Relief lines didn't quite work as I thought. So I used a socket like this. You can use a socket or a dolly or whatever. I just put it behind the panel like that and it actually gave you a nice surface, and it would stop you from bending this whole panel down as you bent this edge. Because what I was doing, I was tapping this all down. I was also caving in this guard, and when I went to pull this out a little bit to check if it was going to rest, I just popped the whole guard out and this would be flush again. So you just want to focus the force in this area. You'll have a nice concave edge. It's really hard to see on film, but it is rounded in. There we go. The rest of the guard is smooth.
Damn.
So to mix your fiberglass resin at whatever rate the directions say on your product. I'm using a poly resin, and I'm only going to mix small amounts because it is a very hot day today, and I don't know how long the stuff's going to last before it goes off. It's your worst nightmare when you're halfway through a job and then it goes off. Add your catalyst. This is where the fun begins. You're supposed to brush on the resin and then put on layers of fiberglass, add them together, and then roll them off and try and get out the air bubbles. But I have a different technique for getting this on quickly. You use more resin, but it eliminates all the air bubbles. And for a job like this, that's basically most important. Slather it on, and we can tip it on. Now put something down on the ground to protect the shop floor, because you're going to get this stuff everywhere. So now that that's on there, you know it's all soaked in properly. This is going to be the inside reinforcing. If you actually tip it on there and smooth out with a stick, you can actually see the individual layers which are getting wet, which are not. So you need to get this whole area wet, totally soaked into the matting. Fiberglassing is already terribly messy. This is the worst way to do it. It ensures all your layers are blended together properly, and then you can just place the patch when you need to. Next, we're going to build up the layers for the outside patch. Already you can see the excess strands bundling up on my fingers. You see the resin's already changing colour, so we've got to move quickly. Be sure to smooth out any micro air bubbles that are appearing in your job. Good results today after grinding it all back. We're just about flush with the metal here, or flush with the rest of the body. We've now ground it down, gotten rid of all the jagged edges. And you can see here, I feel like I've concaved this in too far. Watch my fingers. It is quite deep, so I want to get a couple more layers of fiberglass onto here. The next side, I don't want to do it as deep. So the next side I might just do the back side first, let it set, and I'll get it nice and flat. And then I'll be able to push it to the next layer. This layer concaved in quite a lot because I wanted to get out all the air bubbles. But as a consequence, it's had to do it to this shape. We'll do it better on the next side. All back to bare metal. This is what the strip looks like before the fiberglass goes on. That's an after shot. Hey guys, that's all we've got time for today. Hopefully next time we can get all this fiberglassing done on these two panels, and then we can move on to the bogging stage. If you're enjoying this build, please hit that subscribe button down below and like this video. If you want to see more of our content, head on over to the Facebook page. That's facebook.com/fuelmyride. Alright guys, see you next time.